Hello everybody, it's KeToMi Poppy here, and I am glad that you guys are here for another KeToMi Recipes video. Oh my gosh, I have a very special one here. This video is going to be dedicated to my cousin Angela, who has been dying for me to drop this Nigerian oxtail and beef stew. All right, this is going to be absolutely delicious. We all know how juicy and delicious oxtails are, and oh my gosh, guys, this recipe is going to be very, very delicious. So I'm going to make sure that I can produce the best video for you guys here. And Angela, if you're watching, thank you for inspiring me to getting this recipe done for you. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get these seasonings here, and we're going to go ahead and marinate our oxtails and some beef shank that I have mixed in this bowl right here. Seasonings that I'm going to be starting off with this to marinate just for a few minutes, about an hour. What I have here is 2 tablespoons of curry powder, 1 tablespoon of thyme. I have a teaspoon of ground ginger, a teaspoon of white pepper powder. I have 1 tablespoon of salt. I have 1 tablespoon of a tablespoon and a half of beef bouillon, and a tablespoon and a half of chicken bouillon. So those are the measurements that we're going to be using here, and we're just going to go ahead and, well, before we put these in here, let me go ahead and add about a tablespoon and a half of some olive oil. We're going to be using olive oil today. We all know how good olive oil is, and it's great for people who are on keto. I'm going to be having this recipe with some cauliflower rice. It's going to be very, very delicious. Y'all guys are going to love this one. So we're just going to go ahead and pour about 2 tablespoons. And after that, we're going to throw in our seasonings just like this. Beautiful. And we're just going to go ahead and give this a mix here. So after I'm done mixing this these oxtails and beef shanks here, we're going to go ahead and get these on a cast iron skillet, and we're going to go ahead and get these for a nice sear, and then I'm going to slow cook these in the oven for a few hours because I want this to be nice and tender when getting the stew ready. So I'm going to see you guys in just a little bit. Okay, so we've been marinating our oxtails and beef shanks for about an hour. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and get these on the skillet here. What we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and toss some olive oil inside of our skillet. We're going to go ahead and get a beautiful sear on these oxtails here. Let me see if I can just get this olive oil mixed around here on the skillet. And after we're done searing these, we're going to put them right back in the same pot, and we're going to slow cook them. So let's go ahead and get these. You can see it's nice and hot here. Let's go ahead and get these down there. That's the sound that you want to hear when you first put your oxtails in. I have my skillet here on a medium heat. Medium low. But I'm going to go ahead and increase the temperature just a bit, since the temperature does drop as you add your meats in. Guys, doesn't that look beautiful? This is just part of the reasons why I love cooking. It's because of experiences like this. You really, really get to enjoy the art of cooking. So we're going to cook these on each side for about, I would say, 2 to 3 minutes on each side, so we can go ahead and lock in all of that flavor. And right here, this is the color that we're trying to achieve when searing. So You want to make sure that your temperature is not too high but not too low, so we can get this type of color on all sides. Doing right now is we're adding some chicken stock to our fond, which is basically the good flavor that is released from the oxtails and the beef shanks that are all in the pan right here. It's kind of like a deglaze, but we're not using any wine at all. And we're gonna get all of this into our pot right here that has all of the seared oxtail and beef shanks that we just got done making. So here's a good shot. So we're gonna go ahead and get this mixture back in there, and we're gonna go ahead and cook on a very, very low heat for about an hour or two while we work on our tomato sauce. So in the meantime, while our beef is cooking, our oxtails are cooking, we're going to go ahead and start preparing our tomato puree. So in the puree, we're going to be including some red bell peppers here. These are some Roma tomatoes I have here. Some red onions. This is some ginger hiding in the back, and a few cloves of garlic. We're also going to be adding some tomato sauce. Just get you any type of tomato sauce here. And we're going to be adding a tablespoon of salt and pepper. And we're going to get all of this inside of a food processor, and we're going to get these on the stove. So let me go ahead and get that together, and I'll see you guys in a sec. Okay, so we have our ingredients inside of our food processor. I'm not even sure why I forgot to mention that we're going to be using 2 habanero peppers. If you want your sauce a little bit more spicy, just add more. So we're going to get these inside of here as well. And I'm going to open up this can of tomato sauce seasoned with salt and pepper. We're going to get this blended. Okay, so next we're going to go ahead and get our tomato puree into a pot. We're going to cook this down on medium-low heat so it can reduce a little bit, and that way we'll be able to start preparing our stew. So just go ahead and get a nice pour in there, and we're going to let this reduce. So we'll come back here maybe about 30 minutes to an hour, but just kind of like keep an eye on it so it won't burn while you're stepping away. And we'll be back whenever this is ready for us to prepare our stew. Okay, so now we are ready to prepare our stew. What I have here is I have the seasoned oil that I strained from the oxtails that we cooked earlier. I don't remember if I was able to mention how I prepared the oxtails, but I was able to put these oxtails in the oven for 2 hours total, just 2 hours total. That was enough time for these oxtails to get nice and tender, and a lot of the fat on the oxtails and the beef shank to render. That's what I was able to produce in this bowl of oil right here. Has a lot of flavor, so no other seasoning is really much needed at this point for the oil. So we're gonna go ahead and get some onions and garlic added to this oil. We're going to go ahead and saute this for about 1 to 2 minutes because we don't want that garlic to burn at all. Make sure your heat is at a medium low or low heat. This is going to be a nice slow process here, so you just want to go ahead and give this a nice stir, and we're going to go ahead and get ready to add some tomato paste. This is the fun part here. Okay, so this has been going for at least a minute now. We're going to go ahead and add some tomato paste. Sorry for the noise. You know, tomato paste is real thick, so you know it can be kind of challenging trying to get the tomato paste out of a can. So I'm just going to get some tomato paste out here. I'm going to use the whole can here. All right, and we're gonna also be adding our tomato puree that was able to reduce. So let me go ahead and get that. Okay, so we have our tomato puree that I put in here. We have the tomato paste going. We're gonna go ahead and give this a good mix here. And our stew is already starting to become what we want it to look like here. At this point, you kind of want to turn up the heat. And we're going to be adding another can of tomato sauce here. This will be our final addition of tomato sauce. You probably want to get a little bit of water in here as well. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and let this cook for a few minutes before we add our meat. Okay, and now we're going to be adding our delicious oxtails that have been fully cooked in the oven for 2 hours. Just going to go ahead and place our oxtails and our beef shanks carefully in the sauce here, and we're going to be cooking this for an additional 30 minutes. We're going to be tasting for salt, and this recipe is as close to finished as you can get. Oh yeah, there we go. All right, so we're going to be plating this up with some cauliflower rice, a couple of pieces of fresh steamed broccoli here. Last but not least, we're going to add our beautiful oxtail. I'm going to add some extra sauce on there. Okay, and here's a better close-up presentation for you guys. This is the final product of our keto oxtails beef stew right here, with some cauliflower rice, some beautiful broccoli, and of course our oxtail smothered in that delicious Nigerian stew, Nigerian red stew. Guys, if you guys like videos like this, go ahead and like, subscribe, turn on the notifications bell. I really appreciate you guys watching up to this point, and I really hope that you can make this at your home and enjoy. Until next time, bye bye.